And be real with yourself. This ain't like a presentation or a book report or something you got to stand up and give in front of the class. No, this is you. Be real with yourself. This is you one-on-one. What role did I play? What's going on, family? It's your man, Jeff Kilgore, back again. You already know how we do it. Business and mind all intertwined. And today we're going to talk about the most important steps to forgiving yourself. You ready? Come on, let's talk about it. Now, this is very important to be able to forgive yourself, because without that, it's no point in moving on, trying to progress, trying to, get through your trials, your tribulations, your tough times. If you can't forgive yourself, then you're going to be forever stuck in this rut to where every time that you're getting ready to advance to the next level, you chop yourself back down because you're self-sabotaging yourself because you haven't forgiven yourself for the things that you've done, right? So we're going to talk about the 4 most important steps to forgiving yourself. You ready? Come on. Now, the very first thing that you're going to need to do in the process of forgiving yourself is you're going to have to be able to admit your mistakes. Now, this sounds simple. This sounds like a very simple process, like admit your mistakes. Okay. Not as simple as it seems, because as simple as it seems and as simple as it sounds, we really would like to blame somebody else. We don't, by human nature, we don't like for things to be our fault. So we don't want to put the blame on ourselves. It just really feels so much better to be able to blame somebody else. Yeah, but if it wasn't for my mom and them and my dad or my siblings or my friend who lied or my girlfriend or my boyfriend or what, it's always somebody else's fault. And so we use that to be able to cast blame on others, to be able to take less responsibility ourselves for whatever it is that happened. And so the very first step in the process of forgiving yourself is going to be to admit your mistake. And it's not as easy as it sounds. It's not as easy as you think it is. You're going to have to admit your role in the entire situation. Now, don't get me wrong. There could have been other people, other parties, other situations that contributed to whatever the issue was or whatever it is that happened or whatever it is that we're trying to forgive ourselves for. There's other people involved, but we're not talking about forgiving other people right now. We're talking about you. We're talking about forgiving you. And so you won't be able to thoroughly forgive other people until you've forgiven yourself. So we're going to start with you. If you can't admit your mistakes, then it's going to be very difficult for you to get around to the whole point of forgiving yourself, for those mistakes. If you can't even admit it, then we need to go back to the drawing board, and you need to understand your role in whatever it is that we're talking about. Every situation is going to be different. But whatever it is that we're talking about, you need to understand your role in it and take responsibility for your role in it. This is the only way that you're going to free yourself of the guilt and the shame and whatever else it is that's bothering you about this situation. You have to step up, take responsibility for your actions. Yes, somebody else messed up too. Yes, it was partially so-and-so's fault. And yes, my mom and them did me wrong. And my brother lied. And my girlfriend cheated. All that mess. But what did you do? What is your role in it? What's your responsibility? What could you have done different? That's what we need to focus on. And that's what we need to admit in order to be able to move on to steps number 2 and 3. Number 2, you want to analyze the impact. You want to reflect on the outcome of your actions, like what happened as a result of your actions, not anybody else. Well, your role in whatever we're talking about, whatever took place, analyze the impact of what you did. And that doesn't mean dwell on it and go into some depressed state, but what really took place as a result of what you did. And then you take responsibility for that. You stand up and take responsibility for your role in the situation, and be real with yourself. This ain't like a presentation or a book report or something you got to stand up and give in front of the class. No, this is you. Be real with yourself. This is you one-on-one. What role did I play? What was my responsibility? Be real with yourself about your responsibility in this whole scenario. This is you one-on-one having a meeting with yourself. So be real with yourself. If you can't be real with anybody, be real with yourself. Like, if you can't do that, then, there's another series of videos that, we need for you to check out. But be real with yourself. If nobody else, keep it real with yourself. What was your role in it? What was your responsibility? And take responsibility for that. Don't push it on nobody else. This ain't about who did what, so-and-so did this part of it and it was really such and such fault. No. Your role. What did you do? Take responsibility for your actions. So far, we've admitted our mistakes. And then once we admitted our mistakes, then we have to analyze the impact of those mistakes. What exactly happened? How did we affect people's lives? How do we upset certain people? How do we change, someone's views on certain topics, subjects, whatever it is? Every incident is going to be different, but what was your role in that? And take responsibility for that role. You did what you did. It is what it is. Take responsibility for it. Number 3, accept your human imperfections. We all have flaws. It is what it is. We're human. We all have flaws. We've all messed up. This won't be the last time. Definitely not the first time, and it won't be the last time that we mess up. It is what it is. You have to accept the fact that you are a human being and we're all flawed as a human being. Embrace the flaws. Embrace your flaws. Try to capitalize on them. Once you understand what they are, capitalize on the flaws. Make them better. See what you can do to improve yourself, to improve the way that you handle situations around other people. Embrace those flaws, learn from them, and that's how we get better. But you have to accept your human imperfections because we are human. None of us are perfect. There's some that look like they're perfect, or they act like they're perfect around you or in public. Nobody's perfect though. So don't fall for that lie or myth that you need to be this perfect human being in order to succeed in life. That's just not true. No one's perfect. But when you embrace your flaws, then you cut out the majority of scrutiny that you would get, the majority of the naysaying and the talking behind your back and all. When you embrace your flaws, there's nothing for people to talk about really, because I've already talked about it. I've already acknowledged that I'm not perfect. I don't do everything right. I don't have it all figured out. I'm not perfect, but no one is. And once you can admit that, you're able to move on and get better every day. You acknowledge your flaws so that you can correct those flaws. And by doing that, we get better each and every day. And lastly, number 4, challenge yourself to do better. None of this means anything if you're just going to turn around and do the same thing that you've been doing. You're going to go back to the same ways that got you, feeling this way to begin with. None of it matters if you're just going to do the same thing that you've been doing. The object, the whole point is to get better, for you to be a better person, for you to become the best version of yourself. You have to acknowledge where you went wrong at so you can correct it. You have to acknowledge your mistakes so that you can fix them. Right? So none of this matters if you don't challenge yourself to do better. We have to do better. Did you get any value out of that? I hope you did. And if so, you know how I say, squeeze that like button, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get each and every video that I upload. Sometimes with the YouTube algorithm, they won't show you every video. So make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get each one. And if you're still rocking with me at this point, you already know I appreciate you. Let's go.